the Villa Rosa Kempinski tonight. If it's Wednesday, you know it's all about politics 101. By the way, happy Barrack Day to you all out there. The show has to go on. Plenty in the news. Supreme Court shenanigans, tear gas, or Shisha Monday, whatever you want to call it. So much going on we need to discuss. And presidents upon presidents rolling into town. The Korean president, Pak, was in town. Turkish president, Tayyip Erdogan, on his way. What does this mean? Well, to break all this down, I've got the best political tag team on TV, bar none. That's right. The man from Emmanuel traveled all the way to come to the bench, and it's not raining, which is a good sign. He's in the house. Barrack with the 2 R's Muluka, the man in the middle. Actually, when he comes, every time he comes, it rains. This time it hasn't. It's a good sign. Get your dictionary, thesaurus, Wikipedia, get all your instruments ready, because we're talking Greek mythology, Shakespearean English, you name it. Dr. PLO Lumumba is here with us. Twitter handles at Barrack M, at it's PLO Lumumba, at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag tonight, Barrack. Gentlemen, happy Barrack.
Happy Barrack.
Good to see you.
Good.
Before we go
happy
on,
happy
Barrack, yeah. While you're greeting each other, let me call some friends of ours who we met in the lobby of the Kempinski. Gentlemen, you could just come on. You can come on. Come sit here. Yeah. So tell us who you are. Look at that camera. Tell us who you are.
Hello, we are from Turkey.
We are from Turkey.
Yapı Merkezi Company, and we are greeting your Barrack Day.
Barrack Day.
Barrack Day. Greetings from Turkey.
And your president is on his way.
Yes.
He's going to sign a lot of money.
Yes.
Inshallah. But he give a lot of importance to Kenya.
Yes.
Turkey really loves the brothers and sisters in Kenya.
Seriously?
And they are
Seriously.
watching you tonight.
You're watching us tonight? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Good to see you. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Okay.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
All the best, yeah? Okay. So you heard it from the Turks.
The young Turks.
The young Turks. They're not so young, but they are Turks. The real Turks. By the way, before we go on, I have to applaud Chris Foot, who sat in for me last week as I was away, and he did a good job, right? Chris Foot, Makofi Kwakodugiago.
I know you, Chris. I'm told you did a good job.
He was very good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. In fact, he can sit in for me anytime.
Can you say my, oh my? I didn't see him saying my, oh my.
No, that's a little different. It takes,
But he did a good job. Yeah, good job.
Gentlemen, Barrack Day. And explain to me, because maybe the fault is mine. Yesterday at State House, during a luncheon for the South Korean president, who, by the way, her father was president when Jomo Kenyatta was president, so it was very significant because, the daughter of a president and son of a president were meeting. But in this lunch, opposition leaders who have been calling for demonstration after demonstration, resignation of our IBC commission, the works. They were sitting there having lunch, having fun, laughing, carrying on. And what's the problem? Daktari, explain to me, because maybe I'm the one who doesn't get this.
You get it, Jeff. Remember, first what happened is that Honorable Odinga was attending a funeral in Narok. He received a call. He abandoned the funeral and went to State House.
Straight to State House.
And he sat at a luncheon. A good thing that the president invited him. He sat with General Kaiseri and Adan Duale, and they were all animated. And the message that the Kenyans must receive is that when all chips are down, the political class are able to sit down and to laugh and to eat. But remember that they are doing that. Those who died during the shootings have not been buried. And these are critical issues that must tell us that when, as a country, we are confronted with issues, we ought to negotiate. And when we negotiate, we stop the deaths, we stop the pain, and create an environment that will allow investment and growth. Sad day.
Yeah. Barrack, what do you think? I mean, are we the idiots in all this? Meaning Wananchi, who go out, who take in the tear gas.
We are cannon fodder. Cannon fodder. We are gunpowder that these people use to do their things as they wish. And when they have expended the need for the moment, they put away what is left of that gunpowder, and they will remember it when the bayonet must rain once again. That there's a sense in which you can't help feeling that the political class has conspired against the citizens. I was looking at the images on the front pages of today's press.
Yep.
And I was saying to myself, look at these gentlemen, very well attired in designer suits. In fact, I think they are bespoke suits.
Yes,
And
bespoke.
yes, they are tailor bespoke.
Yes.
And they are smiling and they are looking like they are very cordial with one another. In fact, the images that I saw in the press this morning and yesterday on TV reminded me that these people who are perpetually in conflict, not so long ago they were all together.
Yes.
With the exception of Moses Wetangula, they were all together in ODM.
Meaning in Kaiseri,
Internal Security, Deputy President, former Prime Minister, President. They were all together in something that was called ODM when we were looking for the Constitution in 2005. And we remember they voted no. Then they converted their Orange movement to a political party.
Yes.
And started falling asunder in 2006. Now, they remind me for that matter of what Aeschylus, the great Greek playwright, said about the president of the immortals, that he does sport with us, and not just himself, but himself together with the other gods around him, that we are to the gods what flies are to little children. And you should go out there and look at little kids playing. They are killing flies with their hands, and they are counting and saying, I've killed 5, I've killed 10. And the next day they have a banquet at State House in dignified company, and they are smiling. It's almost as if they are saying to each other, you defeated me the last time, and next time we are going to defeat you.
It'll be my time.
And you saw the former Prime Minister was sharing hilarious jokes with Kaiseri about the tear gas.
Yes.
And telling me you have been tear gassing us too much ever since you crossed to the other side. But we understand why you are tear gassing us. It cannot be done that way. Is there a civic conspiracy against the citizens?
Absolutely. And Dr. PLO, I mean, what about the citizenry? What is this? I mean, Chinua Achebe must be spinning in his grave when he sees a situation like this, because the people who lose the most are the ordinary people.
You talk of Chinua Achebe in his book, The Handles in the Savannah, he says he does not know from what inexhaustible wells of patience the common man draws. Right now, when you look at the social media, the kind of post that you see and the ethnic venom that you see
vitriol.
and the vitriol that you see, you'd think that these were people at daggers drawn. But as Barrack has rightly stated, these individuals are capable of meeting. They have each other's phone numbers. And yet here we are, the nation is burning. We are told that on Monday the riots, so the demonstrations will continue and the country will lose. So we, the people of Kenya, must ask ourselves, what is our civic duty? What is the demand, or what are the demands that we are making of our leaders? Are we mere pawns in a political chessboard? And if we are pawns in a political chessboard, to what end? Because we must remember that when politics stumbles, the people who pay are the citizens.
Correct.
These individuals who are in the political class have the financial wherewithal, they have the connection to run out of this country and to abandon the citizenry and to abandon them in circumstances that will not be very comfortable. So the question that we must ask as a nation, what demands must we make through our representatives in parliament? because there is a sense of helplessness. There is a post that I read today, somebody suggested it would appear that if Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga are on the same side, the country is safe. Let them be one president and one vice president. That is somebody from both sides, of people from both sides of the political divide talking. And that is a tragedy, because we appear to personalize these things and forget that countries and the democracy is built on the basis of institutions.
Correct.
What are we doing to our institutions? What are we doing to parliament? What are we doing to the judiciary? And these are questions that must now be on the table, because the country is not at ease. And the country will not be at ease until some individuals get what they want.
Absolutely.
And as I conclude,
Yes.
one of the problems in this country is that there are people across the political divide who suffer from something that I call the martyr syndrome or the martyr complex. People who believe that this country owes them. And because they believe that the country owes them, the country must do their bidding. And in their mind and in their calculation, as Barrack has rightly said, we are mere mortals, we are mere pawns, we are mere cannon fodder. We are nothing in the equation.
So Barrack, coming back to you and your point about cattle fodder, what does that say about us? Are we stupid? Are we fools? I mean, because we follow these people like they're the Pied Pipers. They say that go left, we go left. They say go right, we go right. But when we get stoned and tear gassed and all that, these people get into their SUVs, their 4x4s, and they go to Serena and they all have tea.
We've been taken hostage. And even now, I can tell you, as I'm sure that I'm seated here, that there are people out there on social media posting very pejorative things about some of the things that we are saying about their leaders. That there is an individual who is a hostage taker. He takes you as a hostage and asks for a certain ransom, as is being done today, and that you as the hostage start even falling in love with the hostage taker. It's called the Stockholm Syndrome, that you will even come out to defend this person and you stop recognizing that this fellow is actually your enemy.
Correct.
You look at him as if he's some kind of messiah
A God.
who has come to save you.
A God. And the other thing is, the tear gas the other day, the usual Monday, but the other day, the bodyguards were standing outside the car, hanging on to the vehicles as they were being pepper
Showing that
sprayed.
some lives are more sacred than others.
Come on.
That all animals are equal.
But some
animals
are more equal than
It's
others.
a truly Orwellian situation.
Orwellian. It's George Orwell.
George Orwell. And the truth is, somebody who was a friend of mine was looking at the violence that was being meted out and the demonstration, and he said, these are champagne revolutionaries who get into their vehicles and go for the demonstration and then they go into
Quickly.
five-star hotels.
Correct.
And the danger, and this is why they must be castigated. They must be castigated on both sides of the political divide. Number one, the police using excessive force, but those who are using these methods of articulating their views are also leading to death. This is what annoys me most. Somebody died in Siaya. He's dead and gone, and will be buried. Somebody died in Kisumu, dead and gone, and will be buried. A man called Ndege lost his entire family in 2007, 2008, dead and gone. Because people are seeking political office by all means necessary. And the country is suffering because of it. Right now, we are receiving heads of state.
Yes.
From Korea, from Turkey, and soon the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. 18 months in advance of the elections, we are beating the drums of war. Will people want to invest in this country? Will our young men and women get jobs? These are things that are very uncomfortable, and as Barrack Muluka is saying, there are people out there who are now tweeting, and I am certain even insulting us.
Absolutely.
Because we are raising this issue.
But you know what, Doctor?
But then they must be raised.
And we shall not be moved.
We shall not be moved, because the truth must be spoken, so that these individuals, even if they don't agree with us, they must know that there are few individuals who are going to tell it as it is.
Absolutely. And Barrack, the psychophancy, and that's what it is. These people who are protecting those other people, it's psychophancy to another level. What is wrong with us?
I think we are sick. We don't know what is good for us, and so we are prepared and ready to follow anything that moves and to worship. But beyond that, I think we need also to flip the coin to the other side and say these are fellows who are saying that they want to do a demonstration. Is it possible so that they can be allowed that space to demonstrate, and we also wait for that moment when some specific individuals commit what we would want to see as a felony and apprehend them? Because there is also the danger of us seeming like we are justifying the police brutality that we saw in the streets.
Right.
Far from it. I think there's a sense in which people can hold out their demonstration, hold out their protest. They can take their memorandum to the IEBC. If they will not behave the way I saw some senators shaking gates and trying to break in, I thought that was conduct completely unbecoming of a leader. Is it possible that you can go there, you can demonstrate in the streets and even be an example, a role model that we can...
Yeah.
Okay?
No wonder the Egyptian foreign minister referred to us as...
No, I can't.
We will not condone it. What he said.
What did he call us?
I'm not
He called us things that we don't want to say.
Can you
but I
imagine?
can't agree with Barrack more that the Constitution does recognize the right to picket, and it ought to be done in an orderly manner.
Yes.
The tragedy in this entire scenario is that both the demonstrators and the police have sometimes been disorderly. Both sides of the political divide have been
Okay, so
disorderly.
gentlemen, real quick. Should IEBC commissioners be reconstituted? Should they go home? Real quick.
First of all, I think that what has happened is that we have manufactured a crisis. And the crisis having been manufactured now, the commissioners in the IEBC find themselves in a very untenable position. The Constitution and the law provides of ways and means of removing them. Do I think that this IEBC is capable of conducting an election that is fair? I do not know whether they can. But what has now emerged is that the lack of confidence is so deep-rooted that even if they could, nobody will believe them. So if I was a member of the IEBC, I would seek to exit. I would seek to exit on the basis that there comes a time in the life of a nation when the nation is bigger than the individual. And if they were to come out and say, we know that we have committed no wrong, we know that we have committed no sin, but we want to do it for the sake of our country, history will remember them very fondly. That is what I would urge them to do.
Barrack?
The commissioners must go. They must go, at least a majority of them, or some of them must go, because of even the kind of profile that they have given. That it is on record, the chairman of the commission has clearly taken an antagonistic stand against the Code fraternity. He has said such things about Raila Odinga as he's a perennial loser. He has said he's an individual who ruins other people. He's a bad loser who cannot accept defeat. Even if that was what he thought, I think he needed to have kept it to himself. And you are talking now here about an individual who represents a very significant constituency. You saw, whether we call them victims of the Stockholm syndrome or not, but you saw today that at the flip of two fingers like this, he has filled up Uhuru Park with followers. Whether those followers mislead themselves or they don't, they are his followers. So you may not just ignore where they are standing. And if it's their perception that you cannot preside over a free and fair election, the damn thing is that you go away. But beyond that, there have been other issues like Chicken Gate. We cannot wish it away. There have been things which the parliamentary Public Accounts Committee has come up with on procurement and things which bring into the picture Article 10 of the Constitution. I think at such a moment you need to step aside. And then when you look at the country, you have got to ask yourself that what is greater? Is it me or the country?
Absolutely. Good point, gentlemen. And by the way, Dr. PLO, what you said a moment ago, manufactured crisis, is what I want to talk about after the break with the Supreme Court. What is the shenanigans going on? Is CJ Dr. Willie Mutunga, has he washed his hands away of the judiciary? Come on, I mean, what's going on? Supreme leaks, and then Justice Joaquin Dongo says one thing, and then he says another, and this retirement age, and let's not forget the $2 million that Justice Tunoy allegedly took.
We are living
US.
There is no Supreme Court in the world that I know of that has found itself in the situation where we find ourselves.
I know.
Well, this is a tragedy of gigantic proportions.
This is Shakespearean.
This is Shakespearean proportions, and it's a tragedy that we now have a situation where nobody can believe that we have a Supreme Court that is capable of presiding.
Gentlemen, hold that thought. I want to talk about it after the break, because this is travesty. This is travesty.
Yeah.
Dr. Willie, and he wouldn't even come on my show.
I won't encourage this Chief Justice to come. Let him retire first.
Keep tweeting. Did Chris would take my fire extinguisher? Where's my fire extinguisher? Keep tweeting at Barrack M, at it's PLO Lumumba, at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag Madaraka. We're calling it as we see it, with the best political tag team on TV. Somebody say, oh my! Chef Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.